Abby's last week at ALDC exposed. Face screaming in fear, the drama you didn't see. Dance Moms S7 flashback. I will explain everything. Never miss this video. Please subscribe to the channel. For anyone who watched Dance Moms, Abby Lee Miller was always the star of the show. However, by season 7, the cracks were starting to show. The moms were at their wits' end. The girls were growing up, and Abby's notoriously tough coaching style was being questioned more than ever. What went wrong behind the scenes? And why did Abby finally say goodbye to ALDC? Was it a calculated decision, or was she finally driven out by mounting pressure? Rumors swirled throughout the final season that Abby was becoming increasingly difficult to work with. Insider sources claim that the producers were getting frustrated with Abby's unpredictable behavior and inability to cooperate with certain cast members. Abby, whose larger-than-life persona had carried the show for years, was reportedly struggling with her own personal issues, including her health and legal troubles, which made her less present and more erratic on set. It wasn't just the moms who were clashing with Abby. According to one anonymous insider, Abby was starting to feel that she had no control over the show anymore. She didn't have the creative freedom she once did, and she was reportedly angry that the show was shifting focus from her as the central character to the growing talent of the girls. But the biggest rumor? That Abby was secretly planning her exit for months, plotting a dramatic farewell that would keep the viewers hooked. Did she get too comfortable with the drama, or was it all part of a bigger scheme? Some believe Abby knew she was reaching the end of her run and deliberately began stirring up even more drama to ensure her departure would be as iconic as possible. The mysterious forces at play. Was Abby forced to leave? Did Abby leave of her own volition? Or was she forced out? This question has plagued Dance Moms fans ever since Abby's final appearance on the show. According to some insiders, Abby wasn't exactly handed a graceful exit. Instead, she was reportedly pushed out of the show by producers who were growing tired of her unpredictable behavior and constant feuds with the moms. Sources close to Abby, however, insist that she walked away on her own terms, tired of being manipulated by the network and tired of the constant pressure from both the moms and the producers. At this point, Abby's legal and health battles were becoming more public, and some speculate that the producers felt it would be easier to move forward without the baggage that came with Abby's personal issues. Was Abby's health deteriorating faster than we knew? Did she need to take a step back from the public eye to deal with her legal troubles, or was she just fed up with the drama? The drama didn't stop when Abby made her announcement that she was leaving. In fact, it seemed like the tension only grew as the weeks wore on. Sources say Abby's final days at ALDC were filled with tension-filled confrontations. The moms were clearly upset, and some of the girls were reportedly angry about the way Abby was treated on set. Behind the scenes, Abby was not just dealing with the personal turmoil of her exit, she was trying to keep things together in the face of what she considered a betrayal from the production team. Abby Lee Miller's final week at the ALDC in Dance Moms Season 7 marked the end of one of reality TV's most iconic reigns. But what really happened behind the scenes? Fans saw the meltdowns, tears, and explosive showdowns, but there's always more than what cameras reveal. This tell-all gossip breakdown spills the tea on Abby's shocking departure, the betrayals, and the juicy secrets that rocked the ALDC to its core. Chapter 1. The tension that started it all. Before Abby's final week even began, the atmosphere inside the ALDC was toxic. Season 7 was nothing like the early years when the moms were scared to cross Abby. By this point, they were done playing nice. According to sources close to the show, Abby was barely showing up to rehearsals in the weeks leading up to her departure. Some even claim that production had to beg her to show up on certain filming days. The reason? Abby allegedly felt like she was being pushed out by the producers. The secret feuds. What the cameras didn't always show was how bad things got between Abby and the producers. Multiple insiders have said Abby was butting heads with Lifetime behind the scenes. She hated how the show was being edited to make her look like the villain while the moms played the victims. She felt like they were trying to make her look unstable, one source spilled. Abby wanted to quit way earlier, but she knew leaving would hurt her brand. But there was one particular mom who reportedly pushed Abby over the edge, Jill Verts. If you thought Jill's constant sucking up to Abby was bad on camera, the behind-the-scenes gossip is 10x worse. Sources say Jill was constantly stirring the pot with producers to get more camera time for Kendall. Jill would smile to Abby's face, but she was secretly scheming with producers behind her back, another insider claimed. Chapter 2. The girls were over it. By season 7, most of the girls were tired of Abby's mind games. The sweet little girls from season 1 were all grown up, and they were finally speaking their minds. Nia Sue was reportedly one of the few dancers who still had respect for Abby, but even she was getting fed up. Rumors swirled that Nia's mom, Holly, was trying to keep the peace behind the scenes, but Abby was making it impossible. Kalani Hilliker and Kendall Verts were done. They were openly rolling their eyes in rehearsals and talking back to Abby in ways that would have gotten them kicked out in earlier seasons. But here's the tea: producers were allegedly encouraging the girls to rebel because they wanted more drama for the cameras. Chapter 3. The breaking point. The final straw came during a rehearsal for one of the last competition routines. Insiders claim Abby showed up 3 hours late and barely gave the girls any corrections. The moms were furious, but the producers were loving every second of it. But what the cameras didn't show: Abby was reportedly crying in her car before she even walked into the studio that day. The legal drama surrounding her fraud charges was getting worse, and she felt like everyone, including the girls she had built careers for, had turned on her. She would sit in her car for hours some days, just scrolling through hate comments on social media, a crew member revealed. The pressure was breaking her. Chapter 4. The secret ultimatum. According to insiders, Abby actually threatened to quit halfway through season 7. But producers convinced her to stay by offering her more creative control over the final routines. But here's the kicker: the producers allegedly promised Abby that if she stayed until the end of the season, they would give her a spin-off show focusing solely on the ALDC. Obviously, that never happened. They were never going to give her that spin-off, one source spilled. They just needed her to stay long enough to wrap up the season. Chapter 5. The final confrontation. We all remember the episode where Abby walked out mid-rehearsal, but the cameras cut out the messiest parts of that day. Sources claim that before the cameras started rolling, Abby got into a screaming match with producers and accused them of sabotaging her reputation. The moms were allegedly listening in from the hallway the entire time. They were laughing, an insider said. They thought it was funny that Abby was finally cracking. But the most shocking part? Producers reportedly encouraged the moms to confront Abby on camera that day, knowing she was already on the verge of quitting. Chapter 6. The goodbye that wasn't so final. What fans didn't know was that Abby's last week at the ALDC was supposed to be completely different. Producers allegedly filmed a whole separate ending where Abby gave a heartfelt speech to the girls and hugged each of them goodbye. But Lifetime cut that entire scene out, because they wanted Abby's exit to feel more dramatic and chaotic. Chapter 7. Where they stand now. In the years since her departure, Abby has spilled little bits of tea here and there, but she's never told the full story. Some of the moms have tried to rewrite history and paint themselves as victims, but multiple insiders claim the moms were just as manipulative as Abby behind the scenes. Rumors are still swirling that Abby wants to return to reality TV, but only if she gets full creative control this time.